Now the fob is finally added to the game. In WARNO it'll be called a field supply point. It'll be available in the logistics tab of all of your battle groups. It'll take up a slot and it'll cost 250 points to put down. It'll only be deployable in your original spawn point, excluding the forward deployment zone. So actually only in your original spawn. And you can only deploy it in your deployment phase. So as soon as the match starts, basically that card just disappears. You can't do anything with it. Now there's a few very interesting things that you should know about the field supply point. Now for example, it has 16,000 supplies that you can use. It is a massive dump of supplies, as the name kind of suggests. Now another cool thing you can do with the field supply point is you can daisy chain supplies towards your artillery. For example, if we have 2 of these 105mm firing away, we have a supply truck here with 500 supplies and a different type of supply with more supplies. What happens is that the howitzers use up the supplies from the logistics truck gets resupplied by the helicopter, and the helicopter gets resupplied by the fob. And as you can see, the only unit that loses supplies, or the only entity, is the field supply point, or the FSP, which is pretty cool. So this way you can kind of daisy chain supplies like this. Some of you might have already been doing it, but for the ones that don't know, there it is. Now another very interesting or important thing to note is how vulnerable the fob actually is. I will keep calling it fob. I hope to train myself to call it FSP, but I can't make any promises in the short run. Now we are going to fire 3 M105s straight at the fob, so imagine you kind of know where it is, or you have a recon and you spotted it. It's going to do an awful lot of damage. The entire fob is basically just gone. Now remember, it is just a giant dump of supplies. So it is going to basically catch fire and explode into a million pieces the moment any shell hits that dump. We have to be very careful with it. And so one way you can ensure that your artillery is not close to your fob without having to move it all across the map is by doing a daisy chain like this. So then you can fire here, move here, fire there, and then move back to your supply truck, and you'll ensure that you're never really firing close from your fob, because sometimes you move it back to your fob and then you kind of forget to move it before you open fire again, and that is just a recipe for disaster. But anyways, go check out all your battle groups, update them, put the FSP in there. I do pray that Eugen somehow manages to counter the amount of supplies each player now has, because RD abuse is probably going to be quite a big thing, and I've already seen it happen in the games that I've played after the addition of the FSP. So with that said, I hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys back in the next one. Take care.